Hi, I'm Danny, and today I will be doing my August wrap-up. So in honor of ARC August, I've received 2 ARCs from NetGalley, and the first one is Late Summer Bloom by Sherry Mark. This book is about a woman who is in I think her 10th century, and she's had 9 births, and her 10th birth is supposed to be a girl, and this is a girl who has been prophesied to come and kill the warlocks, their enemy, for years. And the story just kind of goes a little crazy. It starts off with the main character's mother deciding to leave with her before she's born so that her life isn't dedicated to going on this mission. She will teach her magic and she will bring her back, but she doesn't want the girl's entire life to be planned out for her. But after that, it gets a little crazy because while you know that her mother left with her, somehow she ends up being raised by her aunt and uncle, and she hasn't seen her mother for years. And things like that just constantly keep happening. It leaves you with more questions than answers. And it was okay. I gave it about a 2.5 star. Wasn't that great. But it had a pretty okay rating on Goodreads, so I had high expectations for it. It just wasn't all that great. And the second ARC I received from NetGalley was $1 Billion Bad Boy by Nora Flight. So this is about a girl named... oh, I can't even remember her name. Now, this starts off with a girl named Alexis. She's about 25, I believe, and she goes to her P.O. box to pick up her mail and finds a package with no name and no address. She takes it home, she opens it, and finds lingerie in it with a note. Of course, she assumes that this was supposed to be sent to someone else and it was just a mistake, until the next day it happens again and again and again, and after a week of this, she decides, okay, I need to report this. The mail carrier says they have no idea who's putting these in their box, but it must be somebody else. And since there's no name, no address, there's no way that they can send the items back. So she decides just to toss them. The guy who's been sending them to her finds out that she tosses them and asks her to meet him. And then the story just unfolds from there. You find out that Alexis has had some trauma in her past. She was held up at a bank and she completely blacked it out. She remembers that she was in a bank and that she was held up, but from the moment she entered the door till the moment her and the other hostages ran out, she remembers nothing. And in this book you find out who did it and why the police need her help to arrest the person who is still robbing these banks. This was a very good book. I actually had low expectations for this when I went in. I expected it to be your typical cheesy erotica, but it definitely was not. It was definitely an erotica, but it had so much... I don't even know how to explain it. I really just don't. The characters were great. The romance was great. They actually had real relationship problems, which made me feel like they were so real. Normally in erotica novels, there's a problem and somehow sex just ends up solving that problem. But it definitely did not happen that way in this book, and I gave this a 4.5 star rating. The next book I read this month was The Siren by Kira Cass. This is my first Kira Cass book. This is about a girl named Colin, I want to say. I think her name is pronounced Colin. And she was on a boat with her family in the 20s or 40s, I want to say, and they start hearing this singing coming from their boat and everybody starts jumping ship, and she begs any god that will listen to please save her, and the ocean hears her call and offers her a job. She becomes a siren for the ocean. She sings and sinks ships. Kill a few, save a million is the ocean's motto. Every time the ocean sinks a boat, she is able to feed herself and thus help the earth and supply water to all the people that need fresh water. And then Colin starts falling in love with a boy about 40 years before her 100-year sentence is up. And Colin, I liked her. Didn't love her. I liked her. I connected with the ocean more than I did Colin. I don't know why. I really liked the ocean, and I felt so bad for the ocean. But without getting to any spoilers, I can't tell you why I felt so bad for her. And the ending almost made me want to cry. almost. But I think it was definitely worth the read. You definitely got some Little Mermaid aspects in here. And when I went into this, I actually expected it to be kind of a retelling of The Little Mermaid. And in some ways it was, but in other ways it was definitely its own story. And I think if there was a companion, I know that this is a standalone so far, but I think if there was a companion novel for this, I think I might read it, depending on what it was about, but I think I definitely would read it. And I gave this a 3-star rating. And since September is literally right around the corner, I continued on with my reading of the Throne of Glass series, continuing on with Airfire, and I still really did like this book. I definitely saw some flaws in it this time around, because last time I just kind of binge read it. I just absorbed as much as I could, and even though I still did really like it, I definitely see some flaws here and there now, but I still love it. The flaws, I don't care. I still loved it. And I finished up all the books I own in this series with Queen of Shadows. Still absolutely loved it. Still kept me on the edge of my seat. Still loved it. Still think Kale is a pain in the butt, but I still loved it. Selena, Rowan, oh, I love them. I really do. And Aiden, definitely still think he was a butt to Selena, but I can definitely understand why he was. He had so much hope up for doing the bond with her, only to find out that someone else already has the bond, which I think they both could have the bond anyway. I thought that the first time I read this, and I still think it now. Just because Rowan has the bond doesn't mean Aiden can't. But I still loved it, still gave it 5 stars, and cannot wait for Empire of Storms. So that was my August wrap up, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!